What is going on, guys? Welcome once again to another weekly video where we buy the dips and we sell the rips. Let's go, guys. We had a very crazy week. Guys, a lot of coins we actually mentioned on the previous video, actually 3x, 4x, some even 5x, and one that we called about 2 weeks ago is already on a 10x. So, guys, if you're not printing with these coins, you guys are slacking. Pick it up because right now things are going to get pretty crazy. One thing I do want to let you guys know, this month, we are going to get a crazy, crazy runner. If you don't want to miss that runner below 2 mil, you're going to want to join Boltz Alpha. I'm telling you right now, I'm letting you know, this month, we're going to get a crazy runner and we're going to be the first people to call it. So if you don't want to miss it, Boltz Alpha, link on Discord down below. But let's jump into it. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some coins I feel like are going to do pretty well. We're also going to be taking a look at some risky coins, like the first one I'm going to mention, which is called Sombrero. Now, if you guys have been within the Boltz Alpha, you guys already know we already did a very, very nice gain here. We did a nice little 4x on our first initial call of Sombrero. It's had its ups, it's had its downs. Eventually, this coin is kind of like a meme coin based on what's going on with the government shutdown. And it seems like every day I check X, I see the meme over and over and over. I don't think the meme is dead until the government opens back up. And if it keeps going, I think, they just keep posting it over and over. Eventually, this should coil and have another nice little bounce, giving us a 2 to 3x. Hopefully, it becomes a major meme and it blows up. But right now, it's kind of sitting where I would want to kind of just take a risk on it and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit in here, see if we get another bounce, should test the all-time high. This is roughly around 2.5 mil. Basically, the theory with this coin is if we dip anything below 2.5 and if we dip below, I'm gonna say 2 mil, this coin's pretty much kind of like over. Okay, so if it comes down to 2 mil, like maybe like 1.9, 1.8, it's still fine. But if it goes anything lower than that, I think it's pretty much the meme is dead. Okay, if it doesn't go below that, that means we could probably see a nice bounce back to test all-time high, maybe run a little bit higher. Please did something very similar, so I'm kind of correlating this with Please because Please was a coin that was kind of a meme coin that was based on political, and that one ran up to, I believe, if I remember correctly, like 40 mil, so, or 35, somewhere around there. So really interesting coin, a little bit of risky here, but the potential here, if we were to get here at like a 2.5 or 2.7, if this has another run up to 9, it's a nice little 3x right there. Or if it goes super high to 30 mil, that's a 10x, right? We don't know, but it's a risky one. You're going to want to make sure you kind of just do a little bit of a gamble here. Remember, all of this is not financial advice. It's just what I'm doing to trade. So hopefully you guys are locked in and ready to go. Now, with that being said, guys, we're also going to be looking at Tokabu. Now, I've been mentioning this coin over and over and over. As you guys know, been telling you guys, check out this coin, check out this coin. This coin's going to do pretty good. Super, super memeable. You still see a lot of people rocking the meme, but the greatest thing I like about this coin is a lot of people have changed their profile. A lot of people are actually memeing with the actual character, so that makes me a little bit bullish when it comes to this coin actually correlating back up. It has a pretty strong community. Ideally here, what I want to see is this 15 mil entry. That is what I'm looking for. Again, right now it's kind of been consolidating here with this 15 mil, 20 mil, 15 mil. Right now, it looks like it's coming down. That's why I wanted to mention it. So if this comes back down here to this 15 mil range, 16 mil range, that is where I'll probably accumulate a little bit. I already own this coin. I already made a couple X's on this coin. But with that being said, still potentially gives you a nice little 2x to possibly a 3x without even testing all-time high, because all-time high is like 70 or 80. So, if it were to get bounced back up to like, somewhere to 45 and you get it at 15, that's a nice little 3x here. So it should be pretty solid. As long as you get a nice juicy entry here, something around here, like I would say like that 16 mil. We've seen 16 mil and 15 mil. Ideal entry here for this one right here. The spirit of gambling. All right. The next one is another one I've been mentioning over and over and over. You guys already know, Labubu. The reason I keep mentioning this is because I personally believe anything under 6 mil is still pretty solid for this coin. Ideally, the best entry. We've had it twice. We had it at 5 mil. We had it at 5 mil, which is at 4.7 mil. That was a beautiful entry. Hoping it comes back down to that area so you can accumulate there a little bit. I think by the time we get to like Halloween and the time we get to Christmas, I think from Halloween to Christmas, that is when we'll see this kind of start pushing up a little bit. Just because I feel like a lot of people are going to dress Labubus when it comes to this holiday. And in addition to that, we are going to also be seeing a lot of really crazy stuff coming about it. Okay, so you want to make sure keep in mind on that. So do remember to please keep your head locked in here for when it comes to coins that are going to take a little bit longer to send than they usually would. Now, I did want to mention a coin I called on the Boltz Alpha. We also called it on the what you call it, live on stream, but we were kind of pushing this a lot when it came to Boltz Alpha, and that is PFP. I still think this coin, and I said it on stream, I said it in Boltz Alpha, I think this coin's gonna have a nice little run, right? And look at this, guys. It's rocking almost to 5 million. 5 million on PFP. This is one that we want to keep an eye on. The reason you want to keep an eye on this one is because we want to see how high it goes. Okay. Right now, we got a crazy God candle from 3 to 5. If this keeps going up higher, it's one that you want to track and keep an eye on. See if we get like a nice dip again and correlates. Okay. So if you guys are in Boltz Alpha, you guys should be up a lot from our initial entry here on PFP. It's going pretty crazy. I did want to mention it for you guys. Okay. The next one we're taking a look at is called Fitcoin. It's called Fitcoin, but it's fitted on the top. So Fitcoin is one that we actually called really early. That was a 200K entry back in May. Ran up all the way to 12 mil. It's kind of came back down to below a mil. Now it's at 3 mil. All right. This is one that you want to be paying attention to because I feel like we're going to get this big wave when it comes to like the Christmas season and quarter number 4. Ideally, the entry here, guys, is anything below 3 million. That is kind of like where you want to plan your entry. I do think this kind of retest the 6 mil range here. So, right now it's at 3.6. I think a potential nice little 2x and then it comes back down. But I want to see if it comes down a little bit more for us, kind of below that 3 mil. Because if it does kind of sort of test the all-time high, which theoretically would be something like around 12 mil, that's a nice little 4x for us if we were to able to get it below 3 mil. Okay, so that's why we're looking for this Fitcoin. So hopefully you guys lock into this one. Okay, another one I've been mentioning over and over, Dupe. You guys already know. Gave you guys this beautiful entry here, guys, at below 5 mil. Okay, 4.8. Multiple you guys had that entry like one time, 2 time, or twice. Hopefully, a lot of you actually got into this one. Right now, we see Dupe correlating, and the reason I'm mentioning Dupe is because a lot of you guys asked me this question over and over on stream. Right now, what I want to see happen with Dupe, and it's still a pretty good entry for some of you guys, and you might want to pay attention to because you still have a potential of buying it below 20 mil. Getting a couple X's, right? So what we're looking at here is I want to see what happens. I want to see if it comes down to 12 and bounces back up. That's what I want to see. Or do we get a correlation where it kind of comes to 12, dips to 11, comes back to 15, goes back to 12, and we see a kind of consolidation form here? That's pretty bullish. Or ideally, what I would want it to happen, what would be extremely bullish, is we get a dip down to 12, and then we get a massive push here to 30, and then we start consolidating around here. That would be like the main thing I want to see happen, because that means we are going to get a push to all-time high. So that's where we really want to see. But as of right now, it's kind of it tested this range right here, which is the first range we wanted to check. And if it comes down to 12, that might, if you're not in this coin, you might just want to put a little bit in there, see if you get that bounce up here to that 24, 27 range. That's a clean 2x, okay? If it doesn't and we get another dip, then you just kind of want to wait to see how low it dips, okay? But eventually, I think we do get a test to 30 mil here. And from here to 30 mil, it's theoretically still a 2x. So that's why I'm mentioning it for you guys. Ideally, I want to see this kind of break the all-time high and kind of test that 100 mil range. That is what we want to see with the coin. This coin's super bullish on it, and I think it actually goes higher than 100 mil. It's just going to be a matter of time on this one, okay? I think as we get closer to Christmas, we will see that happen. The next one we have, guys, is Launchcoin. As you guys know, I gave you this beautiful entry here underneath 50 mil. We went down to 48. It came back to 100. That's a nice little clean 2x right there. It came back to 60. That's another 2x to 120. Right now, it's kind of just consolidating here. I kind of want to see if it comes down here to this 70 range. Because from 70, I still think we get a 2x to 140. This is one that you want to enter with a bigger bag just because it's just going to take a little bit longer for you to get that 2x. But it's still one that I want to mention because all-time high on this one is 300. Okay, so if it actually tries to touch this, right, it's actually some pretty clean 10x's, clean x's right here for you guys. So one that you want to keep an eye on. The next one is Nub. I've been mentioning Nub forever. I kind of gave you Nub at 3 mil. It ran up to 55 mil. Pretty clean 10x and above on this one. You just want to keep an eye on this one. Ideally, you do not want to enter at 23. You just want to see if it comes back to 17. That's kind of what you're looking for this one. If it doesn't come back to 17, you're probably just going to want to move on to another one because that is what you want to do. Okay. The next one I have is ALCH. Now, as you guys know, dude, I gave you guys this coin below $1 million. It was like 754 mil back when it came out. Ooh, last year, which was in November. I do think we're gonna get some sort of announcement from them as we get closer to the celebration of a kind of like the birthday, right? So right now, what you're looking for this one, guys, is you want to get this 44. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking for. That's the reason I'm mentioning it. Right now, it's sitting at 62. You want it to come down. We're not buying at 62. We're buying around 40. I mean, ideally, I would want to say you guys buy it like if it comes down to 12. It hasn't come down to 12. But if it does come down to 40, that's where I start paying attention to this one and seeing we get either a 40 or a 30 mil dip. Eventually, I think it gives us a nice 2x as we get closer to the birthday. If they do have a big announcement, this will actually run back to all-time high. And all-time high on this one, guys, is pretty much here, which is 205. It still theoretically gives you a couple X's on this one, okay? The last one I want to mention, which is another risk play, is called Pebble. There's a coin that actually ran pretty well. It did some really nice numbers. And the reason I like this one is because this one right here is having a nice little whoop-de-woo. All right, it's creating a nice little beautiful W here. And good one. So what I want to see here, guys, 2.5, that would be the entry that you wanted to get. It already dipped. But what I'm looking for is if we get this test here of 1.7 again. So we get this little run up right now, kind of like this fake push, and then it comes back down. That's where I'm looking for within that 1.7, 1.8, 1.5 range. That's kind of what I'm looking for to keep an eye on it to see if we get a bounce from that to test all-time high. All right, so the next coin I want to talk to you guys about is OneCoin. And you guys know I've been mentioning this over and over. And I've given you guys multiple times of 10xing this one, 3xing, 2xing, 4xing. And recently it's kind of just been a beautiful 2x printing machine. It goes from 10, it comes down to 5, it goes to 10, it comes down to 5, it goes to 10, it comes down to 5. So basically right now it's kind of been like just ranging around this one right here. This through here, and it hasn't come down here to 3 anymore. It's kind of just been hovering around here, this 5 mil range, and kind of just consolidating there beautifully. Eventually, what I want to see with this coin is if we get this touch down here to 5 again, that's where I would accumulate. If you're not in this coin, I think this coin does test all-time high eventually. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but I mean, a lot of people have been printing here on 2x's, even like 80 to 90%. You're buying, you're selling, you're buying and selling, because eventually I think this will rip past the all-time high. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but it's a coin you definitely want to track just because it keeps dipping here to this 5.4 mil range every single time. And I just keep accumulating. And eventually I think this one gives you like at least a clean 4x from the bottom. So 4 to 3x here. Eventually here on the OneCoin. And that's pretty much the coins you want to look out for this week. We are going to know that I have a really good feeling that this week and the following week we will go get a very juicy runner. And you guys just got to be ready. The best way to be ready is just make sure you guys join Boltz Alpha. That's kind of where we're going to lock in, and we're going to make sure we get the actual runner that's coming out. So hopefully you guys are ready to print. If you are, doing me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like. But most importantly, say hello, say what's up. Let me know in the comment section down below. And we're ready to buy those dips and get those rips. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.